In life, we all have escapes. For some, it's alcohol, TV, exercise, sex, or perhaps drugs. Everyone has their own escape, each for a different reason, but for almost all of us, it's a release. It's a release over something we have chosen not to deal with, find overwhelming, or chosen to hide from. So instead of dealing with this situation, problem, or whatever is troubling us, we distract ourselves in order to escape from what we want to be free from. We use the escapes to hide from the parts of our life we don't want to face, to fill that void of disappointment. It is our inability to deal with the present moment or where we are in life. This leads to us thinking we have little to no control over our lives. So how do we stop doing this? How do we face the issues in our lives without feeling the need to run away from them? We can start by realizing we actually have full control over most situations. Then ask ourselves, do I actually care enough about this to do something? After all, taking action is caring, and inaction is not. Every choice you've made, every time you've chosen to say yes or no, do or don't, has brought you to where you are now. With the exception of some aspects, such as where we are born, parents, and environment, every choice we have made to date has led us to where we are now. So how do we show ourselves we care? By taking action, by doing something, by committing, by acknowledging the problems in our lives and admitting that that's what they are, by not being embarrassed of who we are, by not constantly obsessing about what others have and we don't, or what they may or may not think about us. It is this ongoing obsession of comparison that skews our perception of where we are in life. We end up getting so caught up in the past or future, we forget about the present. What we all forget about with time is that all we ever have is now. We don't have the capacity to live in the future, and the past is already gone and not something we can change. It is our memory and our ability to remember previous moments that gives us our sense of time. It's what gives us our ego. It's the echo of our lives that reminds us of who or what we think we are. In the end, all we really are is the sum of our memories. Look at it almost like a picture book, the kind you used to flick through as a kid. Each image or picture on its own is just a moment, but as you begin to flick through the booklet, you see motion begin to take place. Even in movies, it takes an average of around 24 individual images to make up a single second of motion in film. In a sense, this is how we perceive time. All we ever have the capability of doing is living in one of those moments, which for us is always the present. If we look back at all that has happened before the present moment, we have the ability to remember all that has taken place. But if we look the other way, well, all we can ever see is where we are now, moment by moment. We don't have the ability to see the future, but we can remember the past. This is what makes a lot of us wonder about our future, because we are constantly comparing our past to the present moment. Due to this duality and our awareness in moving through time, a lot of us spend too much of our lives dreaming about the future that has not happened, about things we want to do or don't have, dwelling on the past over moments that cannot be changed. Both of these are escapes if you spend more time there than being in the present moment. Both of them are us not acting instead of taking action. So in spending too much time in either the past or the future is saying we don't care about where we are now. If we did, we'd take hold of our lives and be the person we are rather than dream or hope for change. As a result, so many of us lead our lives never really being present, never really experiencing what's going on right now. We are constantly given these different goals to race towards. In school, it's to get to the end of education with high marks. Then we need to find a job, get married, strive for that promotion, have kids, but then what? There are so many aspects of our lives that we treat as destinations. We get so caught up in trying to get to that destination we forget to look around and enjoy the journey, which is life. It's almost like climbing a mountain, and rather than stop to take in the beautiful views, we just focus on getting to the top as quickly as possible. You could even see it as being on a train, and we're waiting for the last stop. But rather than look out the window or take in our surroundings, we choose just to focus on getting to the destination. We get so consumed with destinations which are forever changing, we miss the journey, and that is what it's all about. It's very similar to success. We spend so much of our time striving towards success, and then we finally get there, and it's almost over in an instant. This is because we spend 99% of our time trying to get the chance to enjoy that 1%. Now we have to ask ourselves, what allowed us to enjoy that 1%? Well, it was that 99% of the time we spent trying to get there. That's what made it worthwhile, because it gave value to our destination or success. It's just like any great movie where you have the main protagonist, hero, or underdog. By the end of the film, you're either on the verge of tears, at the edge of your seat, cheering them on, or have goosebumps because you're so emotionally involved. The reason you're so emotionally involved is because of their journey, not because of the ending or their success. If we take any great classic film and assumed we had never seen it before, then fast forward the film and jump straight to the final scene, we'd feel nothing. Without knowing that 99% of the journey, that 1% has no value, context, or meaning. The same goes for any great leader. We do not choose to follow people because they are successful. We choose to follow them because they inspire us. That inspiration comes from their journey, not their success. If all we have is now, then don't wait until tomorrow. Don't escape from any aspect of your life. Face it head on and do it now. You see, it's not about the destination, what you do or don't have. It's about enjoying the journey. In every race or competition, there are always those who we see as the winners and those as the losers. But I leave you with this thought. If both the winners and the losers arrive at their destination and they haven't enjoyed the journey, then was there really ever a winner? Enjoy your journey, because without it, you'll move through life only to arrive at each destination feeling like you have nothing and always wanting more.